everybody doing? Bear with me, I don't do many of these me in front of the camera deals. Normally I just show my work and I go on, but I'm gonna start trying to do a little more in-depth and tell a little bit more about what I'm doing, and kind of try to log it a little bit better, give everybody a look inside what we do around here. Right now we're in the shop, which is a lot better than being outside. We've gotten some freezing rain and snow this morning. 2 days ago it was 60 plus and we were walking around in t-shirts, and now we're got the heater running in the shop, and it's not very pretty outside. It is icy, and they're talking about more snow on the way, probably about 6 to 8 inches or something like that. I'm not a fan of snow. You northerners can keep it. I'll take my 90s. So, like I said, got the heater going. We were up last night working on this little blue truck we got here. It is a 84. Whoop, there we go. 84 Model Pete 359. It little 119 hood. It's got a 300 Cummins in it. At least that's what the tag says, is 300. Came in, we got it in. Had an older gentleman had it and decided wanted to sell it, and it's a 2-owner truck. It's basically all factory. Tanks under the cab. This is basically a 352 battery box. On these short trucks, they'd set them up the same as a cab over. At the air tanks underneath the batteries, and there's another air tank back here. This truck is like, I think I measured it the other day, it's like 170 or 165 wheelbase or something like that. It's not even a 200 wheelbase. Steel wheels on Rayco. This is a Rayco spring ride, and it is actually the thinner frame. This is about as bare bones basic as you could get in 84. Somebody's put some fenders on it, but that's really about it. The air dryer, it's an 89 dryer, single exhaust, still has the muffler on it. Tank on this side. Really, this is the worst thing about the whole truck, is this tank's got a pretty good dent underneath the step. But the wiring, I mean, the truck's clean, super clean. Oh, the wire, I mean, it's still got the original passenger seat in it, which is showing its age, but I mean, the wiring on this thing hasn't really been molested, which most of them have been by the time they get up here. Probably gonna see, but the wiring is basically the way it left the factory, which is nice. There's one add-on that somebody added, a couple little lights under the dash, but them little deals there. But that's about it. Dash isn't cracked yet. Still has the original interior in it. Man, it's hard to see. Like I said, I'm not very good at the videoing thing. I'm more about doing the work. Doors shut nice. Still has the HC3B on it. Single breather. The hood, it's got some peel on it. Clear coat's coming off. We'll probably, I don't know if I'll leave it blue or not. It does need a little bit of work on the hood, but other than that, it's not too bad. This truck, basically we got it in and it ran, but it just didn't have any power, and it didn't have any power. It would kind of randomly cut out and just real sluggish. Got to going through it. It still had the original fuel lines, and the tanks were nasty, and so took it steam cleaned the tanks, dropped alcohol in them, got them dried out, new fuel. Helped, didn't fix it. So we ended up, I got to looking at the lines, They were pretty brittle, pretty sorry. Pulled the screen out of the pump, and it had a bunch of varnish in it. There's on these PT pumps, there's a screen right here. Let's see if I can get my, right here. So you take this out, and there's a magnetic screen in this pump, and it's the magnetic screen's in there to pick up any metal or any worn pump parts, basically, before it goes through your fuel system and into your injectors. Well, I'll show you the screen. I've got the screen. So this is the screen, and this thing was actually running with this screen in it until it didn't. I mean, it finally had enough and it checked out. Pump has left the chat, as they say. So thought, well, if I put a new screen in it, thought, well, that'll fix it. Nah, it didn't fix it. And basically got to looking, and this had an old Conmet water separator. And I don't, if some people know what that is, some people don't. It is this little guy here. This is an old school water separator. It had a valve on the bottom. You had your lines from your tank went here. You got one in, one out, and basically you had to drain it on a regular basis. And what happened was the previous owner didn't know that, and they didn't drain it. That tank actually mounted right here on the passenger side. So you had lines that ran from your driver's side tank up and over your transmission up to that water separator, back around the transmission, and whenever they got back up here, they ran into the back of the pump. Here is what they did. They came up through the rail and went into the pump. And this pump has a filter housing on the back of it. Some do, some don't. What we did was I took and put brand new fuel lines from the tanks, and I moved my water separator to a newer style out here. Brand new Strataflex lines, water separator, and this one runs from the separator to the back of the pump, through this filter, and then into the pump. I also put a brand new return line on it, just because if you're going to do one, you might as well do the other. So we did all that, went back with a 400 pump, 400 spec pump, and 400 spec injectors. So now this is technically a 400, even though the tag still says 300. Run the overhead on it, put the new injectors in last night, run the overhead on it, fired it up about 10, and it just kicked right off. Once the lines got filled up, we pre-filled the filters, and once the lines got filled up, it fired right up. It sounds really smooth. The injectors were built at Primco in Lampasas, Texas, and the pump was also rebuilt at Primco in Lampasas. And Warren and Primco do great work. I can't say enough about that. They have a super fast turnaround. I sent them the injectors and the pump on a Wednesday. They got it Friday. They had them all done and sent back to me the following Thursday. And they got here on Monday, and we put them in Tuesday. No, they got here Saturday evening, and we put them in Sunday, and then fired them up last night. Or yeah, a lot of late hours out here. Get my days all confused. Anyways, the fact of the matter is they have super fast turnaround on pumps and injectors, and now this truck has a whole entirely new fuel system on it, and it fires right up. It's awesome. So for what we're going to use it for, it's going to be great. We're basically just, we had an 03 379 that my dad had that I was using, and he sold it, and so I was like, well shoot, there goes my short wheelbase truck for pulling my detach. And so I stumbled across this thing. So that's what this is going to do. It's going to do yard work and pull detach and other little odd short haul stuff. It is the basic dash, the dash of class. Some people call it a Corvette dash, but it is a dash of class. but it is the basic gauge package. It's got a tach, speedometer, fuel, oil pressure, water temp, air pressure, amp gauge, and a pyro. And that was like bare bones back then. This did not have the full gauge owner operator package. But yeah, this is still don't have a name for this one yet. Not sure what we're gonna call it. May just call it Shorty. But yep, so it's all buttoned up, back together, and ready to go again. I got to make a trip with it to Joplin here for too long, do some stuff, and it's still got the original cab lights on it. They are peeling like, well, yeah, they're fading like crazy, but it's got beehives on it. We'll probably switch them over to watermelons just because I like the look of them better. But yep, that's current stuff going on here.